Alex Becker's conviction has never faltered. He's been a beacon of hope in this really choppy storm of a crypto market, telling us almost every day that alt season is just on the horizon. But if you've seen any of his recent tweets, they are looking a lot more bearish than he's ever been on crypto. So we're going to break down exactly what his thesis is. Does he think this alt season is coming where we are going to be absolutely dancing, holding hands, and forgetting any of this chop ever happened? Or has he changed his thesis for another 4 years? Two quick things before we jump in. One, my YouTube channel is under attack, and that's why I haven't posted for the last week. It's very possible that it's going to be taken down for good. I'm going to be posting all of my content over here on Twitter. My handle is RubiconBenji. If I all of a sudden disappear from YouTube, you know what happened. Come and give me a follow over here on X so we can stay in touch. And secondly, this video and all other videos on this channel are for entertainment purposes only. Modern financial instruments, including crypto, are highly volatile and the majority of retail clients will lose money. Do not invest any capital you're not prepared to go to zero. Oh, and below in the description are two important links. The first is a link to our early alpha and whale tracking community that will monitor the wallets, portfolios of big influencers like Musk, Trump, Tate, CZ, Becker, Murad, and Crypto God John, and will monitor these wallets on the blockchain and their social media for you to see any activity of new buys, promotions, or launches of new tokens, so we can send you a message the exact moment that happens, helping you move up the Web3 food chain. The second link is a link to our Financial Escape Velocity workshop to give you a clear and exact step-by-step personalized roadmap, and if you're really committed, make the world seem as cheap as Temu. With that being said, let's jump in. Now, have a look at some of Alex Becker's recent tweets. This is his official account, and you have to double check sometimes because I've never seen him this shaky on his predictions. He says he offers no prediction or certainty. He was the guy who was high conviction and would offer us many predictions and a lot of certainty. He's also being quoted saying, "I will ride my bags to zero," meaning there is a chance that this is going to zero. He also said on October 31st, there's been few times that he's been burned out with crypto. He's literally saying, guys, that crypto is burning him out and he's losing patience. Also, this is probably the most dystopic, pessimistic prediction that he has made so far. He says the amount of people telling me altcoins might never happen, meaning alt season might not come, even though he's posted about it dozens of times over the last 2 years. He says, A, true, it might be possible. And he's got his hecklers in the comments saying, "You are always wrong. You've always been calling for alt seasons to run since the halving," which is 2 years ago now. "The decoupling is real. Alts are dead. This isn't 2021. You get a 3x and get lucky and you post and flex on us." And the other theory, which we are going to talk about in this video, this is the theory that I'm actually personally really curious about. Raga says, in 2025, everything has changed. There are now millions of meme coins, fart coins, PP coins in the market, and it's oversaturated. Are there too many coins for us to actually have alt season? So Alex Becker actually retweeted and commented on Ellio Trades' post. This is Alex Becker replying down here. He 100% agrees with it. And Ellio Trades had a very fascinating take. He says, hot take: if you hear someone saying there are too many coins for alt season, they just don't understand crypto. There have always been too many coins for the existing liquidity since I got here in 2017. That's when Ellio started. And Ellio Trades, if you don't know, he's one of the biggest influencers and one of the best investors in crypto. He calls himself Leonardo da Vinci, which is actually funny. It's the first time I've seen that. Never once did every single coin pump. There have always been dead projects. So he's saying, yes, there are a lot of coins and a lot of them are going to stay dead. However, the only metric that matters for alt season is Bitcoin dominance, which means what percentage of the total crypto supply does Bitcoin take up? Where there's demand for alts, it won't be hard to find winners. So he's saying even though there'll be a lot of losers, you just have to find the winners. Think of it like this. You can create a website in 5 seconds with something like Shopify. Does that make sites like Amazon less valuable? Does it make Facebook, Twitter, and Google less valuable? No, just because you can create a junk website in 5 seconds does not mean the highly established publicly traded companies' websites are worthless. Some websites are just more valuable because of others, like a search engine. This is true of DEX coins, launchpads, etc. They benefit from more coins trading. when alts are in demand, there will be huge winners. So this is the problem at the moment, is alts are not in demand. And we're going to get Becker's take on that in just a second. But when they are, there will be huge winners with sustained rallies. Sustained rallies is a very interesting take and one that might be quite unique to Ellio Trades. Attention will power law to those, and boom, bang, pow. Alt season. Finally, we haven't heard that word in way too long. The markets have been pretty sad recently. Due to Fed policy, macro flows, there's just not much demand for high-risk things right now. We're seeing the end of this regime. When it fully shifts, the amount of tokens won't stop the good coins from winning. Delusional bulls will inherit the earth, says Ellio in his theory. And he's attached a screenshot of the Bitcoin market cap. You can see alt season in 2017 when Ellio joined was when Bitcoin fell from 96% market share all the way down to about 36. And this is obviously around the creation and the Cambrian explosion of altcoins. Before that, you can see Bitcoin literally had 100% of market share, which is pretty crazy to think about. Then what happened in 2021 where you saw things go pretty crazy? It went from 72% market share all the way down, basically touched a very similar point at about 38% market share. And now the prediction is that in 2026 and potentially late 2025, we're going to get Bitcoin to go from 60% market share, 60% all the way down to that 40%, and the altcoin seasons will start to absorb some of that liquidity. That is the theory. But people are being impatient. Although Becker says there's been a few times that he's been burnt out with crypto like this, every time he's felt this burned out, selling was the biggest fumble of his life, which is why my bag remains fat and fully loaded. I stand up upon it, arms wide, calling this dump, and all who sell are pussies. Glory or death. And he says in late 2023 at mega alt sentiment lows, which is what we have at the moment, the market sentiment is extremely low and extremely fearful, especially with altcoins. He says he was checking out at Whole Foods when a fan saw him and talked crypto. A guy overheard them and interrupted and said that crypto is never coming back. Becker says, you would be surprised, which is his message to us right now. Shortly after this, the low 7-figure amount that he had in crypto multiplied into this amount right here. Take a step back. Crypto sentiment was so bad that normies literally were interrupting you in public to tell you how bad it was, which is pretty similar to what we have at the moment. This was literally the best time to be buying alts and the worst time ever to sell. Crypto point of view wasn't just bad, you were embarrassed to even say you were into it. Normies thought it was cancer. Within 6 months, the same normies were trading experts and giving technical analysis on X, telling everyone it was just getting started. Becker saying, this is what a top looks like when everybody is an expert. We're at a very similar moment right now. People are leaving crypto for good. You are mocked for being in the space. No one is excited about anything, and it sucks. I offer no prediction or certainty, but if you think crypto is dead and we're out for good, I'll simply tell you, you'd be surprised, just like he told that man at Whole Foods. Now, in my personal opinion, there's this page on CoinGlass that is very telling. They are the bull market peak indicators and how to know when to sell at the top. And these indicators infer historically that you could time the top exactly if you wait for the majority of these to flash. At the moment, there is literally 0 of 30 going off. However, I agree with Alex Becker that the best top indicator is brazen, drunken euphoria that will be biblical. People do not know when the top is coming, and historically, the majority has never called the top. And now that everyone is calling the top, as Becker says, that's almost the definition that it is not the top. The top looks like everyone's saying we're going way higher. Becker says, crypto altcoins are the most undervalued asset on earth. This tweet will age like a genetically perfect gorilla. And Ran Neuner says that he's been here for 3 cycles and the game is extremely simple. Stop overcomplicating it. If you can survive and hold your tokens, you could get rich, is what Ran says in that tweet. Because he likens it to attrition warfare, which is a military strategy aimed at wearing down an opponent through the continuous expenditure of resources and infliction of losses until the enemy's capacity to fight or hold on disintegrate. And Alex Becker retweeted and commented this on this post here, agreeing with it entirely. Simon says, I've been in crypto for 9 years now, and I can't even count how many times the market was filled with doubt or how many times I felt completely burned out, wondering if I should just quit and walk away. Every single one of those times, it would have been the worst decision I could have made. And every single time, the best decision was to simply keep going. Just staying in the game made me a winner by default. That's the war of attrition. Only the people who can afford to stay in the market will reap the rewards. This time is no different. I will stay and hence I will win. I don't know if you've ever heard of how they used to lay sieges to castle, but I think this is a great analogy where you would surround a castle or a kingdom and you would have your men and your soldiers go and find the water supply that would cut off the food supply going in, they would cut off the waste management going out, and they'd literally have people inside the city starving, dying of thirst, fighting each other, and dying of diseases because all the waste management is actually not being able to leave the castle. And without even firing an arrow, they can take down a castle. But if the castle knows how to give themselves food and water and keep their waste and their morale high, they will win the war and they can persist forever. And we have to be like this castle, persisting forever, which in my personal opinion means you can't overextend yourself in crypto because you will not make it through the winter and therefore not be able to enjoy the spring when it arrives. Which the analogy in crypto is you need to make sure that you have the financial stability to be able to hold through the downs. Alex Becker says, find me any this amount right here, potential return investment that is sure to happen. The gains come from the risk. This is where the gains are made. If there's no risk, there's no reward. You're actually insane if you think ETH never surpasses this amount right here and drags alts with it. Conclusion. While there is, of course, uncertainty in the altcoin future, this is why the gains could potentially be so huge, says Alex Becker in this tweet. If you want a this amount right here payout investment, you have to take a risk. Flip side, I don't see anything more clear or likely to happen than ETH and DeFi taking over the finance world. It's extremely unlikely that altcoins will not go up with it. You cannot demand these sorts of gains while also demanding a cozy, safe, certain bet. There is nothing wrong with altcoins. There is something incredibly wrong with your perception on the level of risk and uncertainty you must take in order to get these crazy gains, says Alex Becker in that tweet. And he says in this very interesting tweet, if you want finances in any capacity, you must go through hardship. He says, holding an altcoin position for years through crazy up and downs is hard. Building a company that makes you a lot of money for 5+ years is hard. Working 10 hours a day at a dead-end job is hard. You are going to have to do something hard. Just pick one. Or like Becca, or like me, pick more than one. Pick two. Have building a company and have holding an altcoin position that is extremely volatile. Overall, Alex Becker says, why, yes, I am still bullish. And you have to note that this is not just blind bullishness by Becker. He's actually researched the market. And I have a video on exactly what he is looking at, which is the money supply and the liquidity flow down the risk curve that Carl Chassis summarizes here. But if you want to go watch my full video, I'll link it in the description below. Carl Chassis says, Arthur Hayes and Raoul Pal are saying the same thing in different accents. When the US and China refinance their debt together, that is when crypto rips. We are entering that window. It hasn't happened yet. Historically, it's been every 4 years. This year, it's every 4.5 to 5 years. And if it is the factor that makes crypto rip, we are about to see some craziness in the market. Sideways was just the reload. And we've seen it before. We've seen it with Doge's journey, the volatile up and down, which I've also got a video mapping out on how crazy some of these days of trading was, from a 60 bill market cap all the way down to a $18 billion market cap in almost just 1 week. It's a crazy volatile ride. These are crazy risk assets, but Alex Becker overall is still extremely bullish.